So for our team in the first round, we have following players. Fabiano Caruana playing black against Cuevas, Eric Hansen black against Pichot. Then we have Elias white against Ponsa and Elias against Sandro Mareco. So let's immediately move to these games. I hope you're going to enjoy them. And let's keep our fingers crossed for our team members. And let's just hope this is going to be a great match and it's not going to be so tough for the Montreal chessbrah. Don't forget, the high stakes are on because who wins this match, he's going to guarantee one like $3,000 at least. I say $3,000 at least because you have $20,000 for the first place, $10,000 for the second place. Then you have like $3,000 for the third and the fourth team each. Let's go. So Caruana playing black against Alex Cuevas. Alex Cuevas, almost FIDE master from, actually he's FIDE master from Argentina. I say almost because of his rating 2288. Caruana, I guess you heard of that guy. So they actually went for this English opening. The main move here is d5. Caruana opted for c6. Cuevas played d4 and Caruana played d5. Opted to play with a isolated pawn, which means he's willing to attack. So knight c6, queen e3, bishop e7, castles, rook d1, rook e8, and queen b3. You all know, if you watch the chessbrah lectures, what are the main rules against the isolated pawn, what has to trade off pieces, and what has to block the pawn on d5. On the other hand, we just have like black players who are going to attack or trying to attack in this position. Caruana is just trying to do that. I guess he played bishop c5, threatening and going at some point with either knight e4 or knight g4. He will at some point play a6, trying to make shelter for the bishop on c5 to go back to b6 or a7. Light square bishop will go to either e6, f5 or g4 depending on circumstances during the game. At the moment when he played bishop c5, you just have to keep in mind that the rook is attacking the pawn on e2, so Cuevas has to do something against it. Finally, yeah, this is already a pretty fine position for Fabiano. So Eric Hansen playing black against Alan Pichot. Preparing for this broadcast, I just read an article about this young player. He was world youth champion under 14 or under 16, not exactly sure. But he's one of the most talented and most progressive players coming from Argentina. At the moment, you have like the top player there. It's Sandro Mareco. He just plays and leads this team on the first board. Then you have Perez, Ponsa, and this guy's third. By the way, according to the latest updates on the rating list, his rating, I'm talking about Alan Pichot, is 2556. Eric opted for his Berlin defense. This guy opted for d3. More and more popular lately. d6, c3, bishop e7, and like you see, Eric is just ready to play a normal Breyer's type of position if he plays knight b8. If not, he's going to play more like Zaitsev type of Rai Lopez with the black pieces. He played rook e8, bishop e7, and just like I said, either Breyer's type of game with the knight b8, knight b7, or different type of position with Zaitsev type of position, but in some other circumstances. Okay, Alan Pichot played b4. He's restricting the knight that comes to d7, so at this point he just wants to fix the weakness on b5. His knight just wants to go here on a5. He's weakening the b5 pawn, and Eric played rook b8 so he can face knight f5 and put his bishop back to a8. By the way, once again, to all of you who just joined, welcome back. This is the quarterfinals of the Pro Chess League, the biggest web chess league ever, with the best team names and best, actually, world names in this competition. This is the quarterfinal between Montreal chessbrah, led by Caruana on the first board for our team, and Buenos Aires Krakens, led by Sandro Mareco from Argentina. Don't forget, chessbrah team so far played 10 matches. They won 9 and lost only 1 match. They in the stage group, actually in the first stage, or I just meant to say in the group, they just lost 1 match, and they just lost match against these Buenos Aires Krakens team. So let's go for this Eric's game. He played a rook b8. I am going to explain Le Siège game. Le Siège playing white against Perez Ponsa. Wow. Something completely crazy is happening there. Just at first glance, I have a feeling that it was King's Indian defense, Mar del Plata variation, e5, castles, knight c6, d5. To all chessbrah fans, this position is already well known. Actually, this is one of the bishop e3. It's considered to be slightly worse in comparison to variation with the knight e3, bishop d2. But let's see, Le Siège, who's always very strong with the white pieces, probably has something up to his sleeve. So he played bishop f2, g5, rook c1, knight d3, and played c5. By the way, this is interesting. Plan rook f6, rook h6, and then queen goes to e8 and h5. I remember, since I played this variation myself with black pieces, I saw this for the first time in my life in one game by Ruslan Ponomarev. c5, it's considered not to be the best for black, but I guess this guy just wants to go with some tactics. h4, knight g6, g4. Wow, it's completely crazy. It's completely crazy. I'll be honest with you. I'm not familiar with this h4 idea. Probably it's something either very fashionable or something where Le Siège actually prepared himself very well. I guess if he takes, he's going to put his bishop back to h2, put a king on h1, and even be able to take advantage of the g file there with a rook g1. So if g takes h4, bishop h2, king h1, rook g1, knight f6, knight takes c7, and I guess he should now play bishop h2. Of course, he's not supposed to take this rook, because in that case h takes g3 and mate is inevitable either on h2 or h1. Okay, somebody says this looks great for black, but it seems like prep by white. I actually think it's prep by white, so I'm not willing to call this position looking just so great. And you know, if I look at this game for the first time, if I didn't know the player names, I would say that this is maybe even winning for black. But of course, now I just have to say most likely these are Le Siège preps, so we just have to see what did he prepare for this game. By the way, f4 doesn't work because of bishop g4, knight g4, and all the same remains. All the same threats just remain on the board. Let's just take a look at Elias' game, and then we just have to go back to Caruana's game, whose game we have to follow with the greatest interest because he's the major favorite in the first round, and if he wins that game, that could be such an important thing for the chessbrah team. Sorry for my rough voice tonight. So Elias once again went for this opening, and Elias went for a kind of Kohler system. Anatoly Karpov used to play like this without developing his dark square bishop to either f4 and g5. That is most classical approach here. So he went for the a3, bishop d6, knight c3, castles, queen c2, and he was probably trying to enter and transpose this game into Maran defense with c6, but black didn't want to do that. Black actually takes advantage of a little bit, I'd say on a high level, inambitious approach by white, and he immediately reacts in the center. Elias took, played knight b5, and he goes for this. You know what? This is once again a position where statics is going to fight dynamics, because Elias is now supposed to hold this position with the bishop pair and against the hanging pawns. Man, we wish you the best of luck. You're just facing the best member of Buenos Aires Kraken's team. So let's just see what's gonna happen there. But I just have to say I very much like Elias' position at the moment. Okay, we now just have to go back to Caruana's game. Caruana's game, we just stopped at this moment after rook e8, bishop c5. I told you that he was threatening rook e8 or to play knight e4, knight g4. So after knight c3, Caruana went for queen b6. Interesting queen exchange. And even more interesting that Cuevas already spent like 9 minutes for the first 13 moves. You know what, considering the fact that he probably knew like first 8 or 7 moves of this opening, it basically means he literally on every single move wastes like 1 minute. I say waste because in 15-minute games it's just a waste of time. You just have to be a good with the time management. You just have to play your openings fast, to play like very normal, and to play like very solid moves, or just to play very tactical all the time. For example, what MWL does all the time when he plays these games. If you watch this competition so far, you know what I'm talking about. By the way, once again, I just have to tell you, these are the quarterfinals of the chessbrah league, and you just have to know that we actually got like 2 first semi-finalists. So that's the Norway Gnomes, led by, of course, world champion Magnus Carlsen. Don't forget, we crushed this team. And a second team that qualified for the semifinals is surprisingly Stockholm Snowballs. So these 2 teams already qualified for the semifinals, and I believe they're going to face, I believe they're in the bracket to face each other in the semifinal. By the way, we're just watching this game, bishop g5. At first glance, one should say this is pretty boring. I believe Caruana should play knight to e4 here. I believe knight to e4, unless d4 working, followed by rook takes e2. So we're just going to wait for Fabiano's move. Okay, so we're just gonna go to, I either like here d4 followed by rook takes e2, but in that case he's going to have like terrible pawn structure, double pawns on b7 and b6. After d4, knight b5, rook e2, bishop f6, g takes f6, he would have exactly. That's why I thought that he should not allow bishop takes f6, even at a cost of some material for white, because here actually it looks way better and way more promising for black. If he captures, he's going to recapture by pawn, kicking the knight away from f3. He's also threatening to take on f2, threatening to take the bishop pair on g5, afterwards to play d4 followed by rook takes e2. So Caruana's position is pretty normal. Caruana is, of course, a big favorite in this match. Just like you know, if you watch this competition so far and our broadcasts, you just know that in the first rounds we usually have the highest rated players who are facing the lowest rated guys. Okay, Eric Hansen against Alan Pichot. That's a very important game because Buenos Aires Krakens, they actually have 3 pretty good GMs, very equal strength. All these guys are on average rating like 2600, which is really tough to crack. So every single round we have like a lot of fight between these guys. Okay, so knight b3, rook b8, a takes, d4. That is actually the point of this d3 delaying system against the Berlin defense. They just want to decide when are they going to kick off with the d4 in the center, and he actually did it. Eric played bishop f8, played queen c8, and removing his queen from the pin after bishop f6, and at the same time trying to break with c6 along the c file, and maybe even making some pressure on the c3 pawn with the queen on c8. It's pretty normal. Okay, it's pretty normal in this position. So basically He's going to, okay, he played h6, queen c7, and it's Eric's turn. You know what? If Eric wants to play and to push d5 at some point, he has to keep this rook on e8. I say in case he wants to push d5. In case he doesn't want to push d5, he should play rook c8 and probably put this bishop to a8 if he wants to make any pressure against the c3 pawn. This is very important moment of this game because Eric has to decide whether he wants to push the pawn in the center playing the d5, or maybe he just wants to put that bishop back to a8 and to play rook c8 against and playing against the c3 pawn. We'll see his option. Lazavik playing against Perez Ponsa. Completely crazy game. I just have to say that this is beyond my chess understanding, especially because Lazavik clearly knows what he's doing. I said that many times, I'll repeat once again, Lazavik is, in my opinion, one of the best chessbrah team members, player prepared. He's all the time well prepared, especially with the white pieces. Very strong guy, and I don't want to talk about his white pieces and how he's performing fantastic with white pieces so far, because I don't want to put a curse on that guy. Actually, I don't want to put a spell on that guy. So let's just wait for this game to finish and to see. Now I just have to say, if for the first time and at first glance I wanted to say that this was like so if I wanted to say like that at first glance it looked like black was winning, of course we actually all knew that position was completely unclear from the very beginning, and that this was prepped from the very beginning by Elias. And now I just have to say that I prefer his position. He won the pawn, he on c7, won the pawn on d6, very close to promote this pawn to play knight to e6. Pawn on e5 is weak. I don't see any threats by black unless black comes up with some crazy tactics. At the same time, he's gonna have some rook g1 with like really good games and positions. Never mind. We just have to move. We just have to move to another game. Elias playing white. Elias playing white. Well, he's under the attack. He's under the attack, which is bad. Knight on e4, bishop here, rook that is going to move on g6. He's gonna have hard time trying to defend himself here, especially because if you need any piece to defend your king, that should be knight, not bishops. With bishops, you just need some space, free open diagonals, so you can attack. I see rook g6 exactly, so he has to play king h1 and then probably some queen d7. So king h1, queen d7 going against the h3 pawn. I'll be honest with you, I prefer here black's position. Okay, so let's go back to our first board. Oh, a lot of things happen in this game. So when Caruana played knight e4, just because his opponent had to play faster, he was running out of time. Caruana captured everything, took on e3. The guy took back on d5. Caruana developed and actually completed his development with bishop e6. Took on e5. You know what? To all my students, I keep repeating and I keep saying, when you win the when you actually win control of the second or the seventh rank, it's like equally being up a pawn. That's what Caruana did in this game. He also centralized this bishop fantastic. If rook b7, I guess he would play some knight e5. So rook b5 was almost forced. Takes on a2, threatens, yeah, g5 with the idea knight e5. Actually, he wants to play knight e5. He couldn't play knight e5 because of rook b8 checkmate. And now he can take on f3 and play with two pieces. Let's take a look. How is one of the best world players at the moment, Fabiano Caruana, how is he going to technically kill this guy with knight and the bishop against the rook? This is a real pleasure. For example, oh, rook c5, knight d3. For example, this is probably the most difficult part of the chess game for all of like medium level players and of course low rated guys. As far as I see, he's playing very easily here. he doesn't waste too much time, so he knows what he's doing. I guess he wants to play knight g6 soon. He's centralizing his king. We just have to watch this. I'm very excited to see how is he going to convert this advantage into a full point. I'll be honest with you, I would have a lot of troubles here. So, okay, knight f5, threatening the pawn on h4. If king h3, I guess he should... Oh, knight takes h4, but then rook h5. Rook h5. H6. So he wants to take now on h5, on h4. Okay, king e5, centralizing his king. Okay, good, bishop d5, I guess, but in that case, king g4 followed by king h5. This is very, in my opinion, this is very difficult to win. Very difficult. Just like I told you, I would have like tremendous troubles to win this one. But that's why my name is not Caruana, and actually I'm just a pure IM. I'm just a poor IM. So let's go. c4, I guess bishop d3. He's slowly but surely squeezing out his opponent. Also, you have to keep in mind that he's like 10 minutes up, and that FIDE master Cuevas has to play all the time to actually blitz out all his moves, which is very difficult. So he's anyways weaker player. He's down like 10 minutes on time. Literally every single move he has to play without any thinking. So it's very difficult for to defend this position, and especially considering the fact that you play against one of the best players in the world, especially in the last couple of years. I'm talking about Caruana. By the way, for all of you who are excited to watch Li Chao playing in this match, he's going to take part in the third and the fourth round. We're still watching this game. It's very important. I'm just going to briefly look at other games. He's blocking the c6 in a nice way. Knight e6. I'm just trying to find a way for black to solidify his position to the maximum and then to take the pawn on c5, but it's very difficult. Probably f4, knight d3. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how is he going to convert this into a full point. Or rook g5 is a stupid move because he can't push h5 anyways. Yeah, by the way, he shouldn't challenge. Oh. Now I believe he found a way to win this one. Knight to g3. Okay. King to e3. He threatens like f4, knight g3. The point is that this guy cannot move anymore. Pawn on h5. Rook g5 was terrible move in that position. Okay, so now he has to... Okay, f3, and we're getting closer. Wow, he actually won this very easily at the end. He just squeezed out his king, and now I guess this guy is going to resign. He's not going to challenge Fabiano Caruana how to mate with the bishop and the knight. Congratulations. Wow, that's the difference between us. Like, and by the way, keep in mind, this position is just completely winning, and Cuevas is now just putting up some fight. He doesn't want to resign. It's pretty stupid. I mean, you're playing the third player in the world, many times even second player in the world. So it's stupid to carry on in this position. I mean, it's disrespecting. But okay, that's his problem. The first win for the chessbrah team tonight, Fabiano Caruana once again. Okay, and let's just say cheers for the first win. On the other hand, we just have to go and to say that Sanro Mareco beat Elias after rook g6, king h1, rook h6, threatening on h3, bishop h3, and this was already lost. Yeah, I told you that. Elias, man, when you have two bishops, open the game up. Don't let your opponent attack you. Okay, Eric Hansen playing black. Oh, once again, for the billionth of time, Eric Hansen plays with the bishop pair, even at a cost of material. So, at the moment, result is 1-1. The first point for the chessbrah team, of course, Fabiano Caruana. Elias lost his first game against Sandro Mareco. Let's be honest, it's pretty much expected, because this is the most difficult round for lowest rated players and easiest round for the highest rated players, because highest rated players are just facing lowest rated guys in the first round. Okay, Eric playing with a bishop pair. He's even up on time, which is good. He's usually down on time. So good time management, well centralized pieces, his favorite bishop pair, and I like Eric's game a lot here. That's nice. I feel a little bit sorry that we cannot watch all the time. Probably, in my opinion, the most interesting game of this round is the game between Elias and Perez Ponsa, especially because it was a homemade preparation by Elias, and yeah, that would be like a real thing. Anyways, so far Montreal chessbrah against Buenos Aires Krakens 1-1. Okay, Eric Hansen playing black, slowly squeezing out his opponent. I like his position. Oh la la! I like very much what I see here. I like very much at the moment what we're having on the board. Wow, he threatens d7. He's stuck his knight on e6. His king is pretty safe. Black doesn't. Wow. If he wins this game, this is going to be certainly one of the crucial theoretical novelties against this system. So he threatens to play d7 to promote. I don't see a clear win for black to carry on with the attack. Maybe just trying to go with some tactics, knight g3, or bluffing in this position with something. But I very, very much like this one for black. Sorry, for white. This is good. This is good. Somebody finds this position being wild. I actually find much more than that, because black is supposed to attack. White is supposed to play on the queen side. Here, I don't see attack for black. On the other hand, I see that white did absolutely everything on the queen side. I'm very excited to see the end of this game. Also, Perez Ponsa is running out of his time. Rook g1, fantastic. Stops, actually takes some control of the g file, has like even better defensive resources now, and at the same time you just have to keep in mind, sometimes he's going to push d7, sometimes he's going to make pressure against the bishop on g7. This is great. I like this one. And also he's squeezing out if Elias, I don't want to say that, but if he wins this game, this is going to be such an important moment of this match, and this is going to be, you know, so important for the complete result of the match. Once again, I actually see that there are like so many people at the moment online, more than 600 people. I just have to remind you, this is the quarterfinals of the Pro Chess League. Montreal chessbrahs are facing Buenos Aires Krakens. This is knockout round. So far, Montreal chessbrah team only lost one match in the stage group, and in the first group, actually in the stage competition, and that was against this team. Okay, it's time to take a revenge. But by the way, don't forget, last time we lost 8.5 to 7.5. By the way, let's take a look at Hansen's game, because this guy's running out of time. Eric is up a piece. Eric is doing great. Eric is winning. Eric is winning. Let me just take a look at that game. The things are moving very fast. We stopped here. Eric played f5, queen a6 threatened, and okay, knight takes g3 and came up with this one. I like it. He's up bishop here. Eric knows how to play with his bishops. His upper piece, he wants to push e4 to play queen f6 maybe, with maybe some queen f7. This is great. Also, this guy's running out of time. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen there. He wants to play knight d5 at a moment, maybe to take on e5. Eric simplifies, that's good. Probably he should play bishop g7, but okay, this guy's, or maybe even e4. Let me just take a look. So bishop g7, knight e5, rook e5, rook e5. That's one thing. Or e4, exactly. I suggested this move. And now he wants to solidify himself with probably some bishop e6 or bishop, yeah, okay. Okay, even that one. King on f6 now. King on f6, followed, or maybe even bishop e6, followed by bishop g7. Even better. Even better. Bishop g7, Eric. And then he should play like a rook to d2. Somebody said these pawns could be scary. You know what? With two bishops and with rook on board, I mean, especially considering the fact that you're up a piece, this shouldn't. Actually, there's nothing to be scary here. Rook goes to d3. Not bishop d7 or bishop g7, rook c5. And now, if bishop g7, he's gonna win that pawn, and this is technically completely winning. Looks like Eric Hansen is gonna win this one. On the other hand, I see that Perez Ponsa is down on 6 seconds compared to 1 minute for Lazavik, but we just have to see what's happening here because the games are very interesting. If Montreal chessbrah win this, this is totally winning. Totally winning. I absolutely have no doubts that Eric will be able to win this one. Okay, interesting would be to see if he could have trapped this knight somehow. But okay, technically this should be very simple. Bishop d6 to restrict. Okay, he just wants to put the bishop away from the knight, so he cannot blunder anything. Bishop b6 certainly. Maybe he should have gone for h5 first, not to allow g4. But okay, he wants to use these two bishops to squeeze out the knight and to win. Bishop e3. Yes! Eric Hansen won. That's fantastic. 2-1 for the Montreal chessbrah. Oh, here we have interesting position. Lazavik is up a piece. He's now will be up a rook, so he should take most likely on f6 and play. Oh, bishop f5. I like it. Lazavik looks completely winning also. G takes f5, rook takes f5, rook c8, checkmate. Queen h3, okay. King f2, I like it. If queen h4, bishop g3. Bishop g3, yes. Rook takes h2, and that should be the end of the game. Actually, I see. Okay, he doesn't even have to take on h2. He can even play like okay, bishop e5 now. Bishop e5 first. He plundered queen e3. Oh my god. But okay, nothing. Queen e3. He could have gone with the bishop e5 and rook g1 and win the game on the spot. Okay, he's solidifying himself. Rook c3. Nice. Push the pawn to d6, or he wants to play bishop e5. By the way, don't forget Lazavik is also down a time. Bishop e5, this is winning. No more check, and the g7 knight is falling, and 3-1. That's a good job. Wow, fantastic first round for our members. That's time for Jack Daniels, so this is good. This is really good. Fantastic first round. Montreal chessbrah. We're leading after 4 games after first round, 3-1. So let me tell you the results once again. Fabiano Caruana won against FIDE Cuevas. Eric Hansen in a very exciting game beat Grandmaster Alan Pichot. Then we have Alexander Lazavik with fantastic white pieces once again and fantastic prep. And eventually Elias lost to Sandro Mareco. Fantastic round. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the rest of this match. But already 3-1. This is like a very, very big advantage already. So that is going to be a real thing. Okay. Okay, we just have to go and to see, are they going to immediately go to the second round? I believe they're just going to wait for like couple couple of seconds. Fantastic prep by Le Siège. Bishop takes e5. We just saw the end of this game, and I had a feeling that he could have gone here for bishop e5 first. Bishop e5 followed by rook g1, but okay, actually he did what was the most important thing, so he won that game. Fantastic prep. I guarantee that I'm going to study this variation very hard with all my students with the white pieces, because this would be and this could be actually one of the crucial games against the Mar del Plata that I've seen lately. Okay, we're still waiting for the games to upload. In the meantime, I can just play some music. I guess that's the point. This is really good. Wow, 3-1 after the first round. Caruana won in a very convincing technical style. You also had Eric played a very interesting game using his bishop pair. I like it. It's nothing new for him. He's all the time using these bishops in the best possible fashion. Le Siège, white pieces, nothing else I have to say. When he's white, he's just awesome. And eventually Elias, he had white, he had good position at some point out of the opening, but I guess he didn't. He actually faced his Buenos Aires Kraken's first board, and it's very difficult to play that. Okay, I didn't expect such a good start by Montreal chessbrah. 3-1 after the first round. That actually means that we need like 4.5 points out of the next 12 games. It's fantastic. No, sorry, 5.5 points. But this is really good. Okay, so 700 people here. You guys like to watch the best players in the world. Caruana playing and leading our team to probably trying to be the winner of the competition. So it would be really fantastic. Wow, nice. I'm still waiting for the games to upload. They still... Okay, we're still waiting for the games to be uploaded. If you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, let me know. So, I don't know what happens on the time, but I believe the team with the better regular season is going to advance. And by the way, I believe that we were just better than these guys. I'm not exactly sure. I believe that we were first, they were second. So that's interesting. By the way, don't forget, this is the only team and the only squad that managed to beat the chessbrah in the first stage of this competition. Okay, we're still waiting for the games to upload. And okay, here we go. We have the second round beginning. So Fabiano Caruana, let me just tell you players of this round. Caruana will play white against Pichot. Eric Hansen will play white against Cuevas, which is good. Le Siège will be black against Mareco, and Elias black against Ponsa. Le Siège is going to have very difficult game against Mareco. Elias, a very difficult game against Ponsa. So our hopes for this round are mainly, and our focus has to be on Caruana and Hansen. Let's get started with the games and matches of this round. So Caruana against Alan Pichot. So Caruana playing white. We have this game. It was time out of defense. Caruana played e4, knight f3, e6, knight c3, queen c7, bishop e3. Yeah, this is one of the main variations. Knight f6 and castles. For example, here Eric beat Sam Shankland with f4. F3 is definitely the most common approach by white players, and Caruana opted for a long castle. Bishop e7, f3. This is one of the main positions against the time out of defense. Let's immediately check the rest of these games. Pichot decided to take on d4. Caruana takes by bishop. So in any case of b4, he wants to put his knight back to e2. And maybe he just wants to play some g5 at some point. Maybe g5, knight h5, bishop h3, followed by bishop g4. I'm just trying to find some ideas here. Maybe queen f2. That would be interesting to see. What do they want to do. I'm very satisfied that Eric won his game with black pieces against Alan Pichot. He's very young, very talented player, very hard to crack, so it's not so easy to beat this guy. But okay, Eric did it. Eric is a tough cookie, and he once again just proven that. Wow, that's really, really nice. Okay, Caruana playing white. He opted for the pawn storm on the king's side. Okay, he certainly knows what he's doing, especially when he's white. Sandro Mareco against Alexander Lesiage. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Sandro Mareco against Alexander Lesiage. Okay, so Lesiage once again plays this variation against the English opening. So a3 to stop bishop b4 and this pretty annoying pin, bishop c5. I like it. Knight b3. He's gonna play bishop b6 or bishop e7. That's what he did. Okay, bishop goes back to c7. He now wants to break this pawn on c5, whether by some d6 or by b6. Okay. Once again, for all of you who just joined, we're watching the second round of the match of the quarterfinal match in the Pro Chess League between Montreal chessbrahs and Buenos Aires Crocans. So far, after first round, our team leading 3-1. It's really great. It's really awesome start, and don't forget, I mean, the last rounds are decisive rounds because that's when everything is actually happening. Strongest guys are facing each other. Don't forget, Li Chao is going to play like the last two games. He's like ace in in our sleeve. So we just have to see what's gonna happen there. So knight takes c5, d5. Lesiage once again well prepared. What a epic game he had in previous one. We just have to take a look at it. Eric Hansen playing white. Wow, another guy from this Argentinian squad went for the timeout of defense. No, he played the can opening. a6, Eric played bishop d3. It's interesting because Eric beat Grandmaster Elias, one of the best Israeli players for like last 20 years, with c4. Magnus Carlsen beat Anand in World Championship match with c4, but Eric opted for bishop d3. If you remember, Eric played this in YKZ against somebody and also won his game. So after queen c7, bishop e3. Bishop e3, I'm not sure if that's the main move. c4 is one option, castle another option. Eric just went for the bishop e3. Eric is actually trying to maybe catch his opponent off guard. Maybe he just wants to transpose with knight c3 into some timeout of defense that this guy is maybe not familiar with, or simply Eric has like more experience there. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see what is he going to do here. If he wants to wait, he should play castle, but castle is difficult because of d5. So he probably has to play c4 or knight c3 to stop d5 and any activity by black in this position. So I believe that castle is a little bit dangerous here, because maybe it gives a great chance to black to equalize the game on the spot with d5. Okay, let's take a look at underdog, not just in this round, but in all 4 rounds tonight, Elias. So we're just going to check his game, but let's actually take a look at Caruana's game, at Eric's game. Okay, we'll take a look at the game by Elias. I just want to see Eric's opportunity here. By the way, after e4, Lazavik played a rook to b8, and in Caruana's game, Caruana played h4, and after b4 played knight to a4. There are usually two ways to place your knight. One way to place your knight is to put it on e2, and another way is to put this knight on a4. Here it goes to a4, so he's not afraid of bishop c6. I guess he just wants to play knight b6 followed by queen f2. So after like d5 he plays e5, and it's black's turn. Caruana actually does a pawn storm, just like I told you previously. He's certainly very well familiar with all these positions. He's also blitzing out his moves out of the opening, which is really good thing as well, which means that he knows his stuff there. So we're still waiting for okay, I believe I just have to do a refresh of the page. So we're just in Eric's game. Okay, Eric played c4 at the moment when I told you that he has to do that one. Okay, so Eric played c4, stopping d5, and after d6, knight c3, knight bd7, castles, g6. Probably he's gonna go with some rook c1, b3, f3. I know actually Eric's style, and he's just tried to slowly squeeze out his opponent in a pretty positional way. So Eric's position is so far very normal. h3 to maybe even play f4 to stop knight g4, and sometimes to have a possibility to break with f5 or to break with, I don't know, some even rook c1, knight e5, or maybe some e5. Doesn't matter. We're just gonna go to Caruana's game. Caruana, then Sandro Mareco against Lazavik. Okay, yes. So we had this English opening already. g3 castles, bishop g2. Lazavik decided to break in the center. He played d5, played rook b8, and he opted to play with an isolated pawn. Okay, so far his position doesn't look that bad. Just like I told you. Okay, once again, one of our team members decided to play with the isolated pawn. Definitely, it's slightly better position for white, considering especially the fact that the pawn is on a4, which actually makes this position just slightly better for white. If the pawn was on a2, I believe that white would be clearly better. But with the pawn on a4, he also has his weaknesses. Simply square b4, square b3, even pawn on b2 has to be taken as a backward pawn at some point. So I just like this one very much for Lazavik. You just have to keep in mind that Mareco is the highest rated player in their team. Okay, so those are these games, and now we just have to check Elias game. d4 e6, knight f3, knight f6. Elias tried to play Benoni. This guy didn't want to play d5, so after g3 he captured, and he played this very tough system, I mean very solid system with the black pieces. He actually wants to play some sort of hedgehog position. So after rook b8, f4, rook e8, g4, g6. I believe that Elias already played a game similar to this one in previous rounds. Or I say similar to this one, I'm not exactly sure if it's the same position, but he once again opted for hedgehog position. Okay, so pretty much normal game with mutual chances. If white manages to place the bishop on f3 and to take the knight on h5, he's gonna be winning. On the other hand, Elias just has to... Okay, I just have to say that I prefer white's position a little bit more here, because He can never take on d5 because d5 square will be occupied. Then he can never push b5 because of c takes b5. This guy just wants to reposition his rook on either f2 or on d2. Elias plays queen a5, which looks kind of nice because he ties up rook on c2 for the knight on c3. And most likely white has to do something with this knight on c3 before he plays a rook c on f2. Okay, once again, Sandro Mareco playing against Lazavik. We're waiting for a Lazavik move, and Eric Hansen after h3, bishop g7, rook c1, went with this knight to f3. Why knight to f3? Because he wants to keep the d file open so he could afterwards attack the d6 pawn, which is at some point, and which could be taken as a weakness. Also, the knight on f3 just gets like better control of e5 square, so at some point he'd like to move his bishop to f4. That's exactly what he did in the game. So we just have to see how is black going to face his idea with the bishop f4. Okay, by the way, I now just have to see what's happening with Caruana's game. And once again, I'll just have to upload the site. I guess there's so many players online and actually spectators at the same time, so I just have to do upload of the games very often if we want to check the Caruana's game. So I'll just have to do it again. I apologize for doing that, but actually it's on the side. So Caruana playing white, Sandro Mareco playing this one. Okay, we just have to check the Eric's game there. Eric Hansen. Okay, now we have once again all these games, and now we have Elias' game. Okay, now we're once again following all these games. Let's get back to Caruana's game. Sorry, this was just a small technical difficulty. So we stopped in Caruana's game when he played knight to a4, d5, e5, knight d7, queen a3. He's actually controlling well the b6 square, so if bishop c6, he can go with either knight b6 or knight c5. After bishop c6, he went for the knight b6, captured there, and he now took control clearly on the queen side, so black didn't have any attack. And also, now white just goes with a5, f4, f5, and f6. Okay, he took on g7 and played h5. Pichot also tried to attack, and by the way, don't forget about this one. I usually explain this to all my students. When they play b3, just capture and play a3, and they don't have any attack. So after a3, queen to e7, bishop to d3, bishop to f8. Looks like white is doing great. White is doing great. Okay, rook takes a3 is threatened, but I believe maybe he can parry that out with some rook to f2, rook to h2, because g5, rook a3, bishop takes a3, queen a3. Okay, this could be dangerous. This could be dangerous. So rook takes a3 is threatened by Alan Pichot at the moment. How is Caruana going to face that one? You know why? Because he needs to make sure to cover the c file. That's why I keep saying about he plays g5. You know what? If I was black, I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, he has to sack on a3. He doesn't have anything else. Otherwise, he's just gonna get killed on the king side. So g5 with the idea of g6. Caruana is just so fast on the king side. So, but actually, this is good, and we all hope he knows what he's doing there. Also, look at this. Caruana spent like only 3.5 minutes literally for the whole game, while his opponent spent yes, rook takes a3. We all expected this one. And now let's see, what did he prepare? Yeah, I spoke about this move. Aha, so this rook keeps an eye on the a1 square, and this rook keeps an eye, this bishop and this rook keeps an eye on the a2 square. This is good because I can feel that Caruana's another point is getting closer and closer. this is good because you know what? If you remember, Caruana played against Norway Gnomes that week. He actually made 3 draws and beat the underdog player in the Norway team. Then Caruana played last week. He made 2 out of 2. First game wasn't convincing at all. Actually, he had a nice opening prep and he went for some sec, but at some point somewhere he went wrong. And today he's just so convincing. Second game last week was in his truly fantastic technical style. Previous game was very technical as well. He knows what he's doing. His white pieces, probably he's one of the best players. Not probably, he's definitely one of the best players in the world with the white pieces. In my opinion, the most dangerous. And yeah, his upper rook here. I don't see how is Alan Pichot going to continue with his attack here. I mean, he had to go with rook takes a3. He's now trying to bluff Caruana with this move, I guess. He wants to play b2, but b2 doesn't change anything that much because of bishop b2 if nothing else. I guess g6. Or maybe he should just play rook to c1. Even rook to c1 works. Even rook to c1 doesn't look that bad. Rook to c1, and if, for example, rook b8, bishop... No. I would actually blunder mate. What am I talking about? So rook to c1, rook to b8, and then rook to b2. And nothing. He actually built some kind of fortress there, and then he can go with the attack. Okay, it would be very interesting to see how is he going to defend in this position. His upper rook, I think his position is just so much better. Sacking the bishop on h7 could also be interesting because it stops b2 because queen on a3 at some point will hang, and bishop h7, king h7, g6. But you know what? On bishop h7, black can even play king h8, not reacting on bishop h7. Yeah, he went for g6. Okay, I guess on b2 he has to take by bishop, and on rook b8 he'll take on f7 and try to mate black on g8 followed by queen g3, and if bishop g7, h6. Yeah, this should be winning. This should be winning for Caruana, not just because he's up rook, but he's going to have like decisive mating attack on the king side there. Caruana is winning. Let's actually go to Hansen's game. So Eric Hansen is clearly favorite in this game. 95, he captured, went for this opening. He decided to break on the c file with c5. I like this. I like this a lot. He's just creating his own passer. Very good positions. Very good positions. Okay, let's take a look at... Oh, Elias' position looks... Okay, I just had to take some time to evaluate that game. So we stopped here. After queen a5, this guy played a4, king h1, played bishop c1. I don't like... why did he give him d5 square? I don't like it, yeah. Rook f4 followed by rook h4, threatening checkmate. He didn't play the most accurate opening there. So if you ever play this position with black pieces, for example, Badr Jababa plays h5 and h4, which is very nice idea. And there is another plan. To play another plan, knight c6, knight takes d4, and then bishop goes to e7, d6, bishop goes to d7, and then you oppose the bishop on g2 with bishop c6. He's not supposed to play typical hedgehog because he can never play b6, or even if he does that, he's gonna have like a lot of troubles in those positions. At the moment, we're just checking what's happening after rook f4. Clearly, white's threatening to play rook h4. Let's get back to the game of Le Siège. Le Siège had this positions. After knight d3, he played bishop g4, f3, came up with check, bishop f5, played bishop b6, Okay, looks like Mareco is a bit better in this position. As far as I see, position is pretty unclear. But if somebody has to take some colors, or actually, if you ask me which color I'd rather go for, I'd rather go for white colors here. He wants to play b4 a5, so he's got a pawn majority on the queen side. By the way, don't forget, Mareco is up 6 minutes. He can win a bishop here, but I guess he doesn't want to take on f5 because the knight on d6 is just doing a great job there, pretty much paralyzing most of activity by black. I just said that the position is unclear, but now I just have to say that position is definitely better for white. It's between something slightly and much better for white. Okay, let's go back to Caruana's game. Wow, Fabiano Caruana already won another great win, and Caruana once again made both of his wins in this match. Caruana played, we actually stopped at this point. He played g5, this guy sacrificed, played rook h2, played g6, and played g7 in order to open up everything on time. Alan Pichot went for the last idea, and he got badly made it in this game. Caruana, Fabiano, congratulations for your really outstanding result. Okay, 100% tonight, 100% last time. He only let's just say had a bad result against Norway Gnomes, but don't forget Norway Gnomes led by Carlsen. They also have like a very strong GM, Ludwig Hammer. They also have GM Arianthari, so he actually made 3 draws and win that game. So far, Caruana made like 6.5 out of 8 games, or sorry, 5.5 out of 7 games. He played, 6.5 out of 8 games. So that's really nice. 6.5 out of 8 games with 5 wins and 3 draws. By the way, guys, don't forget, next round, Li Chao is going to play. So in the 3rd round, Li Chao is going to play. And by the way, not just Li Chao. Le Siege is not going to play, but Raven Sturt and Michael Kleinman is going to play against Alan Pichot. So that will be very, very interesting, because Li Chao, the Terminator of the Montreal chessbrah, is gonna replace and come as a substitute to Fabiano. And once again, I just have to say, Caruana won this game. Eric Hansen, a lot of excitement on board there. Eric in first take on e6 here, as far as I see. Yes, and goes into clearly winning endgame. You know what? Eric is so good in these technical positions. He's up a piece. He's up on time. 6 minutes. We just expect Eric to win this game. Before this round, I just told you that in the 2nd round, I expect by Eric and Caruana, clearly, because they're favorites to win their 2 games. You know, we won the 1st round 3-1. It's a really great result, and now all we have to do is to actually hold these guys. I believe 3rd and the 4th rounds are going to be crucial ones, not because they're really going to decide who is going to win the match, not because of that, but because in 3rd and 4th round you always have clashes between the closest rated players. So that's what we have to see what's gonna happen there. Elias, I just said you should play, instead of d6, knight b7 in that position, either h5 like Badr Jabava, or to play knight c6, take on d4, and play some sort of artificial hedgehog position. That's what Gelfand did there. Okay, so Eric is up a pawn. Clearly the best move White went for. He's actually playing the rook endgame. You know what? When you're down a pawn, you should always go into rook endgames. If you remember, even Patriarch Botwinick said once, if you want to make a draw, just, oh, this is nice. And now rook a5. Nice. Fantastic technique. Eric, who was your coach, man? So he kicked this king away before he went to a5. I like this one. This is really good. So rook a5, he now threatens b5. If rook b8, actually rook b8 doesn't work because of check. Eric is completely winning. This guy is doomed. This guy is badly beaten, slayed in this game. And man, we just wait for you to resign this game. Eric can play p5 here. Exactly. Cuevas played some king f4, king e3 first. Don't give him chance. Don't give him chance to get any activity with a king f4, to go with any tricks. You know what? Yeah, king e3. Oh, rook a6, okay. And now a4. And now a4. And he's just going to slowly but surely push these pawns. I guess he's enjoying it, this position. Eric in absolutely fantastic shape. Not just last couple of weeks. Actually, you know his performance in Waikanza. You actually know how is he doing in this league. You could have seen Eric in some other competition. Oh, he cut off the king on the d file, and now he's just pushing. Wow, I like this so much. I have a feeling that instead of Eric, I'm watching Caruana here because his technique is so nice. This is nice. Good. b7, rook d7, and a5, a6, a7. Cuevas, known as a player who likes to put up some fight, even if, yeah, he doesn't want to resign. But now Eric is going to promote, and Cuevas. Eric Hansen won 2 out of 2. Caruana won 2 out of 2. So far, the first and the second board brought 4 points. Cuevas doesn't want to resign. Do you see that? He doesn't want to resign. He actually waits that he loses on time. Very, very sore loser. Okay, Hansen won. Congratulations. Eric Hansen won. Caruana won in this in the second round. So this is really, really something. So Caruana 2 out of 2. Hansen 2 out of 2. This is a really great performance by Montreal chessbrah members. Okay, so we just have to check off Le Siège and Mareco. So it's d4 here. Okay, so I guess these Argentinian guys are very they don't like to lose. Actually, nobody likes to lose. Le Siège is down. He's down a queen, actually queen for the knight and the rook. I believe he's lost here. Also, white has a pawn majority. Mareco improves a lot. Actually, Mareco's rating is 2664. He was like 2600 like a couple months before that, and he's improving a lot. Mareco is really strong GM. I actually know this guy because usually when I prepare myself for somebody else for the games, we should actually prepare to his opening choices and his openings, because he's like very, very well prepared. Look at this one. He wants to play bishop b7. He wants to trap this rook. So he's winning there. He's winning there. Unfortunately, I just have to say that Elias lost his game. Elias, congratulations so far. I mean, you really have tough opponents, especially now when we qualified for like these knockout rounds. It's not easy for you, but you're still putting up a good fight. Okay, clearly they catch Elias in the openings because he's not on this. Okay, Le Siège is completely lost here, so we're just wait for him to see what is he going to do. I guess bishop king, even queen takes, no, bishop a6 and queen takes d2. Okay, this is just a matter. This is just a matter of time. When is he going to resign? So far, after first round, it was 3-1. Elias lost, then 3-2, then Eric won, and Fabiano Caruana won, which means we're leading 5-2. Okay, 5-2 for the chessbrah team. And Le Siege is going to lose. So after like half of this, okay, like half of this team, we just have to, after like half of this match, we're just going to lead. Oh, Bishop C2. Did he just blunder that one? Come on, man. He didn't have to blunder the queen. Are you serious? I mean, he's still winning. He's still winning, but he just blundered the queen there. Because he blundered the Bishop C2 trick. Wow, that's a nice buy. At least he's got some hope. But okay, the king, maybe he didn't even blunder the queen. Maybe he didn't even blunder the queen. Wow, this guy's really strong. So Mareco won, which actually means that after second round, the result is 5-3 to Montreal chessbrah. So far, Caruana made a perfect score, 2 out of 2. Eric Hansen, perfect score, 2 out of 2. Le Siege, 1 out of 2. And Elias, 0 out of 2. Okay, we just need to play some music there. Okay, we just need to play some music there. So that's it. And to relax. By the way, I just have to tell you what are the players for the next round. So in the third round, Li Chao, the Terminator, is once again coming into a chessbrah squad. He's gonna face Ponsa, Eric Hansen, Sandro Mareco. Tough game for Eric because Mareco will have white pieces. Raven Sturt will be white against Cuevas, and Michael Kleinman against Alan Pichot. So that is going to be an interesting match. Godfather, actually my Godfather, I have to thank you for this one. I appreciate that one, and I like when I see donations. That's a really good thing. Actually, as you know, that I'm coming to United States in like 2 months. So actually, I'm gonna take that money for a couple of beers in the United States. At the moment, let's actually cheer with some Jim Beam. So far, I just have to tell you the Li Chao score. He made 13 out of 14. Absolutely staggering performance by Li Chao with only 2 draws. Where can you get my playlist? Actually, it's a top secret, but no joking now. Actually, I'm gonna give that one to you after the broadcast. So that's a good thing. Li Chao 13 out of 14. Just like I said, a really staggering performance by Li Chao. You just have to keep in mind one thing. In none of these games, he was lost. In none of these games. That's one thing. And even those 2 draws where he drew against Batar Sambuev, I remember Sambuev tried to exchange like every single piece that existed on the board, trying to catch a draw there. Okay, we just have to wait for the third round. The games haven't uploaded yet. Perfect score by Eric Hansen and Fabiano Caruana. Nice, especially because Eric won that special game against Alan Pichot with the black pieces. So far, 5-3 to Montreal chessbrah. That's a real thing. What am I doing in the States? Just visiting, and maybe visiting. Just have to relax a bit after all these very tough streams. You just have to keep in mind all these streams for me are at 1, 2, 3 and 4 a.m. my time. Okay, we're still waiting for the games to upload. Still nothing good. Our players are just relaxed. Okay, So somebody said I would do everything I could catch a draw against Licha as well. Well, yeah, you're kind of right. But for example, if you have white pieces, just like I believe it's a question of being good fighter and trying to win every single game. I believe everybody has to try to win his game with the white pieces. We need 8 points. We do not need, I believe, 8.5 points, because I believe we had like better additional performance in standings after the stage group. So still waiting for the games to upload. Still waiting for the games to upload, so that would be interesting. I'll visit Chicago, New York, and Vegas, so I can't wait. We just want to spend some money there, man. Okay, so give some donations so I can spend as much as I can in Vegas. Okay, I'm just joking. We're just waiting for the games to upload. The round hasn't started yet. Third round about to begin. So far, we're just leading 5-3. Perfect score for Eric Hansen and Fabiano Caruana. Caruana, congratulations. He won last time 2 games. He won this time 2 games. So this is really, really good. Okay, still waiting for the games to begin, and we're still relaxing. You know what? I just have to stop to talk for a moment. I'll be in from the 20th of May until 10th of June. Okay, so still waiting for the games to begin. I believe they're always making like a little bit bigger pause after second round. Okay. So far, Le Siège 50%, but what a win against Perez, Ponsa. Hansen, perfect score. Okay. We're still waiting for the games to begin. I just tried to refresh the site and to upload, but actually they just make a bigger break at the moment. No more Lefong. Well, you know what? These are now final rounds. High stakes are in. Just like I told you, who wins this match, he's going to win at least $3,000. At least. Don't forget the first prize is $20,000. So the games are about to begin. So let's get started. Final rounds are coming. Third round. Montreal chessbrahs against Buenos Aires Krakens. So far, we're leading 5-3. And for the first time tonight, Terminator, the Beast, Li Chao playing white, and he's going to face Ponsa. Before that, let's actually take a look at Eric's game. Surprisingly, Mareco went for c4. I say surprisingly because he beat Eric already 2 times against Eric Grunfeld. Eric's Grunfeld game. So after c takes, knight takes, bishop g2, knight b6, castles, bishop e7. No, guys, of course that Lefong is not kicked out of the theme. Of course he's there, but you know what? He simply wasn't in like the best shape, and the real rounds are coming, the real opponents, and we just have to I mean, the guys who are just in the best shape, they just have to play these rounds. Eric opted for this classic English opening, variation against the English opening, and Mareco played a little bit like more flexible double fianchetto variation with g3 bishop g2 and b3 bishop b2. Another way of playing this could be with a3 and b4, playing on the queen side and getting a little bit more space. Okay, so let's actually carry on with the games. So that's one game, and Kleinman, who so far had a very nice results, very nice games. Kleinman, he's white in this game, and he's playing against Pichot. He went for the queen d4. I think it's a very solid approach, and I actually like this one very, very much. Queen takes d4, h3, knight c6, queen e3, g6, and c4. I remember Magnus Carlsen played this against Wayne Jones in YKZ 2 years ago, and he actually made a great win. Ever since then, this variation became one of the most solid against the d6 openings in Sicilians, and against any knight or dragon or just Scheveningen player. White tried and actually started to play this one with a very, very tough positions for black pieces. I played this position myself with white pieces, so I know how dangerous it could be for the black players. And guys, get ready for the real thing. For the first time tonight, Terminator in our team, the guy who simply rapes his opponents, Li Chao, with playing black against Federico Ponsa. Okay, Li Chao, e4, e5. Oh, Li Chao. Terminator played the Petrov defense, so he just wants to equalize. I believe his strategy is good. He just wants to equalize this game. He's black. Actually, this is important. Knight bd2, knight d6, rook e1, and knight b4. Okay, so knight goes to b4. He just wants to play some bishop f5. He also wants to take this bishop. So I like this one very much. Okay, so wow, I like this one. I like this one because if bishop goes back to f1, he's gonna play bishop f5. This is nice. This is nice. And by the way, don't call Li Chao the butcher, because there is only one butcher. Everybody else can be anything else but not the butcher. Okay, so rook e1, knight b4, threatening this bishop. Knight f1. I already like Li Chao's game, because when he wins this bishop, like knight takes d3, bishop f5, and short castle, he's gonna have like a really, really nice game. Okay. Yes, of course. I wouldn't also miss the chance. C takes d3. That's like a very interesting. Option to take with. Okay, he's holding the center here well, but on the other hand, Li Chao has like a bishop pair. What I like the most about Li Chao's games is simply how actually simplicity of his play, of his choices during the games, and how he never actually, you'll never feel that he's got any problems in his games. Also, his opening choices are so tricky, and he's always very, very well prepared. Finally, we just have to see for the second time playing for the chessbrah team, Raven Sturt. Raven Sturt, he already won one very nice game. He already won one very nice game. By the way, go Batty, thank you so much for your donation. That is going to be spent in Vegas. So after c takes d5, d6, knight f3, g6, bishop f4, this actually became very, very popular line lately with the e3. And after like rook e8, bishop e2, knight e8. Okay, knight e4. This variation is considered to be slightly better for white. And you know what? If knight e2, now black has two moves. Black can go with rook to b4, or black can take on f4 and play that type of position. This is pretty nice. So rook b4 goes with like, yeah, he goes against this one. But you know what? After knight c4, he can then sack that rook on c4 for the knight and take on b2, rook b1, and play bishop c3, and then play that type of position. Still, I believe, according to the latest theory, this one is supposed to be better for white. Okay, let's go for Li Chao's game. So nothing radically changed in that position. Queen d2, rook e8. He just plays solid, good moves. I just want to check once again Hansen's game. Things are moving fast in that game. So we just had an English opening. Sandro Mareco opted for this double fianchetto. It reminds me of some interesting dragon positions. Knight e2, getting the most of flexibility. Eric played c6 to close the bishop on g2. e3, now he threatened the pawn. He has to play knight f3 and knight g5. Interesting option to actually trade the knight on f3 off. And after knight e4, his queen goes to g6. And maybe he wants to be just a little bit crazy, going with h5 and h4 if possible, at some point launching the attack. So after h3, knight e5, knight c5, b6, knight e4, and Eric plays bishop a6. Ooh, rook 88. I just have to say that I very much like Eric's game already. And you know what? I fear Sandro Mareco a lot, especially because he already played 2 times against Eric, and both times in Olympiad in Turkey 2014 he won. And I believe in the previous match between Buenos Aires Krakens and Montreal chessbrah, Sandro Mareco once again beat Eric. I'm not sure, but I believe he beat him that one there. Although I just have to say, I don't want to put a spell on this guy. Actually, Eric's game looks very, very promising. I like his position. He created weakness here. He weakened the pawn structure on the king side. This king looks pretty weak. This king looks pretty weak. Maybe. Oh my God! Can Eric play knight d3? Can Eric play knight takes c3, f takes c3, followed by bishop d3? Oh my God, Eric is maybe winning. Wait a sec. Knight takes e3, f takes c3, bishop d3, and then, oh my God, knight e3, f takes c3, bishop d3. Eric looks completely winning. Why knight b4? Why not knight takes c3? I mean, this one also looks almost winning for Eric because he's winning a pawn. Ah, no, knight e3, f takes c3, queen f2, bishop d3, queen f2, bishop e4, queen e4, queen f7. And then king h8, bishop e5, at least getting somewhere. Here Eric fully equalized. I like his position, so this is like really, really good. This is like really, really good. Nice tactic by Hansen. Now he's gonna capture by bishop, of course. And he's clearly the one who's playing on a win. That's fantastic. Let's go back to game between Federico Perez Ponsa and Li Chao. Bishop g5, knight h5. He wants to play bishop f6. This is getting dangerous. This is getting dangerous, and he now plays f6 himself. I like it, because if bishop takes f6, he's gonna play bishop here or bishop here, and then he's gonna win a piece. So this is good. This is good. I like this one so much. Either bishop goes to g4, threatening the knight on h5, or bishop goes back to f7, threatening the knight this way. So bishop f6 simply is not going to, or at least, aha, he wants to do this one. So wait a sec, what if queen g5 here? That's, maybe on queen g5, queen g6. Oh my god. Queen g6 and two pieces will hang at the same time. No, but then queen g6 and knight f4. So knight f5. And what if bishop e5 now? What if bishop e5? And if bishop e5, then h6. And if bishop e5, h6, queen g4, then that knight can jump somewhere. Probably even knight takes d4, queen h5 is enough to get a draw there. Okay, I'm just trying to focus on this position a little bit more. Also, bishop takes g7 followed by knight f6 could be an option for white, transposing into something. So Ponsa might go for that one. Okay, I thought that this game would be, just to be honest, at first glance, I thought it would be way easier for Li Chao. I mean, his position still looks great, I mean. But I thought it is going to be like that equal. Now, this guy just found some tactics, found some way to go with some activity in the attack. But okay, let me just take a look once again at Eric's game. Oh, Eric is simply killing Mareco. Eric is killing Mareco. So I like this knight g5 idea so much. When the queen went to g6, knight e5, b6, playing bishop a6, rook 88. That was so killing. Knight before bishop. You know what? I kept coming up with knight a3, but I guess knight before is way safer. And after bishop g2, he played h5. We spoke about this. Oh, Eric is simply killing this guy. Mareco is dead lost. Mareco is dead lost. Eric should play queen e4 check. Mate is coming. I mean king h2. And then he just has to play f6. Wow. This is really good. So queen e4 check, king h2 and f6. And we all expect white is going to run out of checks, run out of any tactics. Oh, even g3. Even g3. Okay, and what if king h3? Yes. Queen f5. Okay, and if king g2? I see that as the only option. Probably he wants to play some queen g4. Finds this one, queen d5. Okay, nice one. Ooh. No, Eric plays in a top shape. Eric plays certainly 2700 strength. Eric Hansen won 100%. 6-3 to Montreal chessbrah team. I didn't expect this one. This is really sick performance by Hansen. Against such players with black pieces, he makes a perfect score. That is really awesome performance. Okay, let's take a look at Kleinman. Wow, Kleinman is doing great there. Kleinman against Pichot is doing great. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This is Carlsen's favorite variation. Rook d1, knight c3, knight c5, rook b1 to play b4, and after a5, b3, goes with the bishop b2 and knight g5. Actually, this is my game. I played against Grandmaster Popovich like this. We drew the game, but I was much better. h4 exactly, g4, and queen takes e4. Wow. Did maybe Kleinman prepared for this game looking at mine? Eric Hansen made 3 out of 3 after 3 rounds. It's such a fantastic performance by Hansen. Really, really outstanding result by Hansen. He's really doing great lately, and his shape is certainly somewhere around 2700. Look at this. As far as I see, Kleinman is almost winning here. I mean, black has to play some e5, but then rook the d6 is hanging. This is completely lost for black. Wow, Montreal chessbrahs are maybe going to decide this match after only 3 rounds. So this is really nice. Let's take a look at a game between Li Chao and Perez Ponsa. Li Chao, we actually stopped at this moment. So bishop e5, I spoke about this, queen g6. Maybe he just went too fast with that queen f7. I thought about something else there. G5, knight g5, g4, knight g5. And now Li Chao is trying to solidify himself. Wow, he sacked an exchange. He sacked an exchange in that position for some practical chances. Rook takes e5 and wants to go with rook e2, going against the g2 pawn, and he just wants some practical chances. I really expected after such an easy opening that he would just slowly put that game into calm waters, but actually this is now becoming a really wild game. I believe this is nice, practically very, very nice chance for black. He wants to put a rook on the second rank. He needs some activity in this game. So he wants to play rook e2 here. I mean, what else? If he doesn't take the second rank, what else is he going to do? Rook e1. And Ponsa wants to play rook e7 at the end of everything, attacking this bishop. And he wants to use the fact that the king will be mate. I don't know. What am I supposed to say here? Li Chao takes there. Probably he has to play some king f8 or maybe some g6 move. King f8, okay. Ponsa played interesting move, rook to e1. If knight to f3 right now, I guess black would play and go with rook g4, but then knight e5. Wait a sec, knight f3, rook g4, knight e5. On knight f3, can our best player play anything else? Yeah, knight f3. Ah, rook g3. Okay. Okay, I like it. I like it. Practically, he wants to go. Oh, yeah. He finds a nice defensive resource there. I like this one. Okay, so he just wants to go with the rook h1. I believe he just wants to simplify this game very easily, but he gives up too much material, which gives Li Chao great chances to equalize this game. I believe he shouldn't lose this game. He should play king to d6, to play c5, b6, and to somehow keep his pawn structure compact on the queen side, and trying to defend this position. He played d4, trying to point out that the pawn on d3 will always be weak and will always be under the attack with Yeah, Eric finds a nice plan here. He's actually talking in the chat room of the chess.com, and he's actually going with the g6 bishop f5 king d6, and he wants to go with c5. He's even trying to find some way to maybe even do some counter chances here, but Hansen tonight certainly plays his best role in the Pro Chess League. He made a perfect score. He made a perfect score, and you know what? This is very, very important game for Li Chao, because so far his score is absolutely the best of all the players in the complete Pro Chess League. He actually made 13 out of 14. I believe he's one of the only players in this competition that is undefeated. Okay, so we're going to keep following this game because it's very interesting. It's very interesting because now after he played d4, I don't think he can lose this game anymore. This is nice. This is nice, and once again I have to point out Eric Hansen 3 out of 3, and Montreal chessbrah leading 6-3 after not even finished 3 rounds. So 3 games ongoing, and until something radically changes and happens here, we're going to win. We're going to win this match, and we're going to qualify for the semifinals and for the best 4 teams in the whole competition. Okay, so yeah, it's practically very difficult. It's practically very difficult for white here, because king on e2, he's just taking a defensive role and trying to defend himself. If he plays rook d1, Li Chao is going to play king d6 followed by c5, and he certainly cannot lose that game anymore. So this is good. He's not gonna lose this game for sure. He went with some great tactics there. I thought at some point, after knight f3, he couldn't defend anything, but he found the knight g3 nice. I don't think Ponsa made a good decision when he decided to give up the f4 pawn. I believe he had to keep it on the board. Ravensturt against Cuevas. I just have to check this game, because if Ravensturt wins this game, we practically won this match. We actually stopped here. Cuevas exchanged these knights. Ravensturt took on d6, played d4, and he just decided to start pushing these pawns. Now, before, preparing just for this broadcast, I just checked the ages of Michael Kleinman and Ravensturt. They're 22 and 23. This Ravensturt guy has improved a lot. Actually, when he was actually signed to play for this for our team, he was 23-80. Right now, he's 24-33, which is really nice. He's improving a lot, and he's one of those very talented American players. Anyways, I guess he knows what he's doing, and you know what? I believe that we can win this match even after the 3rd round, which is completely insane, because I have to be honest myself, I expected that this is going to be one of the toughest matches so far. I don't want to say this for once again, because I don't want to put a curse on our team, but so far it's so good. Okay, Kleinman, practically he's winning here. Practically he's winning here. By the way, it's really interesting. It's really interesting because I played exactly the same game against Grandmaster Dusan Popovic from Serbia. Instead of here, Popovic played e5 against me. He didn't play the bishop h6. And yeah, in the analysis, we just stated that against bishop h6, white should go with the h4. After bishop f5, g4, knight takes e4. Here, I just stated that Kleinman had a fantastic position and he was almost winning. Bishop g5, h takes, queen b6, and Kleinman played c5. And Kleinman played c5 and went for the bishop pair and went for this sick tactics where he won an exchange, and practically he cannot lose this game for sure. He can only win this one, which is very important. So far, Montreal chessbrahs are leading 6-3. Kleinman is much better. Li Chao is not going. Ooh, things changed here a lot. So we actually stopped at this moment. I'm just going to give you this position. b4, b6, king f3, bishop f5. He sacked another pawn, went for this, bishop f5, tried to disconnect the pieces there, and Li Chao is now trying to, wow, he's now trying to win this one. Wow, he's trying to win this one. This is good. He's, okay, we certainly knew that he wasn't going to lose that one after he played d4 and after he fixed the pawn on d3, but can he win this one? Perez Ponsa is running out of time. Looks like Buenos Aires, Argentina, bye-bye. Looks like we just have to tell them, guys, see you next year. But okay, I guess if he wants to make a draw, he should probably force the draw with rook takes c3, and after king c3 to go with the king g4. And Li Chao luckily is not going to lose even this one. I have to be honest, it looks like I put a curse on this guy when I said that it is going to be a very, very tough match for him. I said that nobody, even so far, managed to outplay him out of all these games. Okay, this was for the first time that he had like very, very big troubles there. So this is now a draw. Rook takes c3 followed by king g4 if white wants to make a draw. If white doesn't want to make a draw, I guess he might even lose this game after bishop c4. So in my opinion, white should go with rook c3. Practically, it is going to mean that we're almost so rook c3, and look, you know what? He declined the draw and plays rook c3 and king g4. I mean, these guys should work not on chess for the next year. These guys should learn how to behave for the next Pro Chess League and the next year. Okay, so this is draw. So Li Chao made the draw in that game, and that was a real fight. That was a real fight. So let's, guys, please donate some money, and we're going to buy a book, How to Behave Over the Chessboard. That should be a present for these guys. Okay, so now let's go for the game of Raven Start. Oh, he's doing fine. I like his position. This looks like a nice game. This looks like a nice game. I guess queen goes to b4, doing the double attack and winning a game. And yes, there we go. Queen b4, threatening both pieces at the same time, and looks like even Raven Start is gonna win this one. Aha, queen a4. I thought for a moment that he won a piece. Okay. Wow, this is nice. This is nice. Montreal chessbrah are most likely going to even qualify after this round, because Raven Start is practically much better in this game, and Kleinman was doing great in that game against Ellen Pichot. We just have to go back there once again. So for all of you who just joined, we're in the chessbrah League quarterfinals. High stakes in today's match because in today's match, who wins the match, he's going to win for sure $3,000 at least. Don't forget, first prize $20,000, second $10,000, and third and fourth place are going to share $3,000 each. Somebody just came up with a donation. Thank you so much, and I believe we should buy a book for these guys, How should they behave over the chessboard, and when is the right moment to resign the game? That even if there's no chess book like that, we're going to write one like that. Okay. Somebody said that I miscalculate a lot. You know what? I just go and actually, I'm just thrown from one position to another. I'm just moving very fast from one game to another, and it's very difficult to cope with all these games at the same time. And also, you don't have to pretend to be so smart and to say that I'm miscalculating a lot, because I'm not using any engines, unlike you who actually go and use engines all the time and pretending to see like everything over the chessboard. Anyways, after h6, rook b1, okay, threatening the knight and threatening the pawn on b7. Okay, that's it. So bishop, yeah, Raven's third is better in this one. It is much better. If you know what would be very nice if he could he probably has to take on b5, create a double pawns, and to start pushing this pawn somehow. Okay. Bishop c7. You know why bishop c7? Now he wants to play d6 and d7 with a tempi. Now he wants to play at some point d6 and d7 with a tempi. Okay. Okay, so e5, d6 and d7. Rook e1, I guess, here. Wow, I guess a move. Tell that guy that I can still find some moves. Okay, knight e2. It's correct. Queen e4, exactly. Raven's third is getting better and better there. Now he can't push d6 because e5 pawn is hanging after rook e5. Okay. I don't know. I just have to go to Kleinman's game as well, just to see how is he doing. Kleinman, wow, he's still squeezing out his opponent. We're gonna back to that game. So let's take a look at this one. Can Raven maybe f4 if he wants to push? No. He found this one, so he put all his hopes into a passed pawn on d6. Wow, this was a nice combination. Maybe rook e7 followed by queen b3. He opted for this one, probably because of queen f, bishop f8. It was even better. He's now doing some good time management, because he's adding some time on his clock playing solid moves. Okay, black certainly cannot take on d6 even if he moves the rook. So maybe interesting would be to play like, okay, threatens bishop c3. Threatens bishop c3. Can he play bishop to c3? Why didn't he play bishop to c3 in that position? Bishop c3, I thought it was winning. Rook e8 now. Rook e8, he's got a great practical chances to win this one. Yes. Rook e8, queen e5, rook f8, queen h8, checkmate. That's a well-known mating pattern there. Nice. Raven's third is playing at a moment a really nice game. Holy shit. He left the queen on d4. Oh my god. Oh my god. He left the queen unprotected. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my god. What a great game. What a great game he played. And then he blundered the queen. What was he doing, man? Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. He actually put my nerves. I immediately got the... Wow. But, oh, I mean, completely winning game anyways. Oh, my... That was... you know what? I have to immediately take another one. You actually put my nerves in a very bad situation. Okay, let's take a look at the fourth game. But I just have to say, Ravensturt won the game, which is good. Actually, it's not good, it's fantastic. But after such a terrible blunder, he left the queen unprotected. And we just have to check the Kleinman's game. Kleinman lost the game. How did he lose that game? We just have to check it out. But before that, before we check out the game, let me just say, so Kleinman lost. Unfortunately, he was winning that game. I feel very sorry for him because he had a great chance and he had a great position. That practically means Kleinman lost, Ravensturt won, Eric Hansen won, and Li Chao drew. It actually means that out of this round, we made 2.5 points, and we even increased before the last round our advantage. Vamos Argentina, said somebody in the chat room, but Vamos is not going to help them. They're already, I guess, lost this match. 7.5, 7.5 to. It was 6 to. So you just have to remind me. After this, Eric won. It was 6 to 3. Then Li Chao 6.5 to 3.5. Then 7.5 to 7.5 to 4.5. It means that it's almost decided match. Still a long way to go because even 1 point is enough for our team. But you know what? I just have to tell you the games. In the fourth round, Li Chao will be white against Mareco, so it's very unclear match. Eric Hansen will be white against Ponsa, unclear match. Pichot is white against Ravensturt, and Alex Cuevas is white against Michael Kleinman. Unfortunately, the match is not over. The real matches are coming. Wow, everything could become absolutely crazy if after Ravensturt played Queen D4, Black just took on D4. That was, I told you, the guys are also, and the players are also kind of excited because these games are just like I told you so many times today, are on a very high stakes because who wins at least $3,000. Of course, I just say at least because for this first and the second place are the higher prizes, and you never know. These are short time controls and anything can happen. So we need like half point to win this match. I believe on additional criteria we're just going to go through. So half point, will we be able to win that one? I just have to carry on with the music, but this was such an exciting round and a little bit crazy even for my taste. Unfortunately, Kleinman lost almost completely winning game. So Kleinman took on f7. Okay. Played king f2 and 96. Did he have to give up this pawn on g5? Did he have to play this one? Yeah, this is interesting. So king f2, 96. Maybe he could have played bishop to c1 here. Bishop to c1, solidifying the bishop and defending the pawn, and then re-centralizing this pawn. He went for the rook c1, king e3, and gave up the pawn on g5 for unknown reasons. But okay, he still was the one who was playing for win here. And now he was playing for a draw. Actually, that's why he didn't, not that he didn't make a draw in this game, that's why he actually lost this game. Because in position where he clearly had to find a way to play for a win, he was the one who actually respected his opponent too much, and afterwards it was too late. You see that he was all the time playing to make a draw, and in completely winning game. That's a big pity because Kleiman was doing so fine so far, but actually somebody should tell him in that kind of position he just has to find a way. He just has to find a way to play on win. Eventually the guy captured and won the game. I'd say maybe a bit unlucky, but this was the game of the round. Ravensterd played a fantastic game. At some point he went bishop to c3, but now to play queen on d4, and to blunder the whole queen, that could absolutely make this match completely crazy and absolutely unclear. But luckily his opponent played f6 and he took the queen on b6. That was really, really lucky. Let's go. We just have to go to the last round. In the last round, Li Chao will play white, but Li Chao will play white against Sandro Mareco. Li Chao, the only undefeated guy in the whole Pro League after 10, not after 10, after like 16 games for himself and after like more than 11 rounds. Yeah, okay, I mean, Alan Pichot had some compensation in that one, but if he played bishop c1 followed by bishop e3, restricting the knight on e6, defending the pawn on g5, afterwards vacating the c1 square for the rook, I believe he'd be able to win that game very easily. But actually he just showed pretty bad technical skills in winning positions. Anyways, Li Chao playing white against Sandro Mareco. Everything is completely unclear in this game. Mareco is their best player. Even though Li Chao is playing so good, you never know what's gonna happen. So I just have to turn off the music. So Li Chao, I like his opening. He knows his stuff. I already spoke about his really fine opening choices and preparations. By the way, in some of previous streams and broadcasts, I told you that Li Chao is the only guy in the world ever who actually reached the 2760 only playing the open tournaments. Do you know how strong, not just player, but how strong in preparation, how strong in technical chess, how strong in practical, simply coming up with practical decisions in open tournaments you have to be in order to reach 2760 just playing the open tournaments. So that's why I tell you he's like a real chess beast. Okay, Eric Hansen against Ponsa. I believe Hansen lost to this guy last match. By the way, that was in a group stage when we lost 8.5 to 7.5. But I guess this match is way more important, and at the moment we're leading it. So Montreal chessbrah is leading 7.5 to 4.5. So that's like a really big advantage, which practically means we need one draw. Eric plays h4. Michael Adams played this couple of times. This is like the best white's variation. And apart from these two games, we're just like slight favorites. Li Chao is slight favorite against Mareco because he's like 50 points higher rated than him. And Eric is also around 50 points higher rated than Ponsa. So this is why they're just light favorites in these two games. But in another two games, Alan Pichot is clearly favorite with the white pieces against Ravensterd. And in the fourth game, Kleinman, who was very unlucky in the last game, but actually that was a pretty bad second part of the game by Kleinman. He's going to play against their weakest player and the player who's doing really bad tonight. He's 0 out of 3. When Sturt played that queen d4, leaving the queen on d4 hanging and unprotected, Cuevas didn't even see that, and he lost that game. Okay, so h4, an interesting way to play this game. So far, so good. Let's go back to Li Chao. He played king to h1. He launched the attack with the g4. I just want to show you once again this opening part of the game, and opted for e5 and rook f4. Mareco tries to defend himself properly there. b4, breaking the pawn chain, and he's just trying to take on d4. I believe he should take by rook here. I believe he should take by rook, not by rook. Actually, yeah. Actually, he should first take on b. Aha, knight c4. I was about to say to take first on b4, but he plays knight c4. And once again, after this, he's going to play like a takes b4, followed by I don't know, probably bishop takes d4. But Li Chao is really insane when it comes to complications, and what actually impresses me the most is the speed of his games, is the speed of his moves. He sees everything so fast. Knight d6, and I just once again have to remind you, today's we already got like two first qualifiers for the same semifinals. First one, Norway Gnomes led by Carlsen. They won in a pretty convincing way, 9.5 to 6.5. And the second match, in my opinion, one of the strongest teams in the whole competition, Marseille Migraines, they lost to Stockholm Snowballs. And Stockholm Snowballs, I believe they're in a bracket to play with Norway Gnomes for the finals, which means that we're just waiting for the winner of the fourth match. But let's actually focus on this game. So Li Chao played knight d6. What if a takes b3? B takes a3. Going with like pretty, let's just say practical chances. But I believe knight d8, rook e8, and bishop takes d4. So this is actually what impresses me very much about his games. He's playing these moves like knight d6, move that is highly complicated without almost any thinking. And it's very difficult when you play like that. Aha, b takes a3, maybe bishop takes a3. Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. B takes a3, bishop takes a3. But it's sick because he's finding these moves without almost any thinking. He's so good when it comes to calculation. Just like I said, imagine getting 2760 in an open tournament. You really have to be a complete chess monster. So we're in the final fourth round of the quarterfinals of the Pro Chess League. At the moment, Montreal chessbrahs are leading 7.5 to 4.5. We're still waiting for like half point to win this match, but 1 point will be even easier and even better, because then we would win this match officially with at least 8.5 points out of 16 games in total. Okay, so it's Mareco's turn. Knight d6 is a move of such a great practical importance, because if knight takes e5, knight takes e8, if b takes a3, thanks somebody for saying that bishop takes a3 followed by knight e8. Also, if bishop d6, he takes d6, queen d6, rook takes d4, opening up a great bishop on b2 and getting a great diagonal for that bishop. And now we just have to go to check the Eric Hansen's game. Eric playing white in this game against Ponsa played Michael Adams' move h4. He played d5 there, knight d4, and they actually went into, this is a so-called modern opening by black, or Russian system. So I very much like what's Eric doing there. So everything is in control. And don't forget, Eric so far out of 3 games made perfect score. And what impresses me even more was the simplicity of all these games and the way he was outplaying his opponents. That was really insane. So knight takes e5. Wow, Eric sacked on b5. Eric sacked on b5. And if a takes, knight takes b5. And if queen b8, I guess he wants to sack either an e7 and d6 or first on d6. Knight d6, he takes d6, knight d6, take on c8 and play, and to be down like, yes, he's going to have like a rook for 3, maybe even 4 pawns, which is like practically great. Oh, I like this one a lot. Knight d6, e takes d6. Knight d6, king e7. Knight c8, rook c8. This queen b6 is a good move because after Eric, if he goes for knight d6, he takes d6 and knight d6, knight c8. He won't have a possibility queen b4 anymore afterwards. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Maybe he can defend this knight with some a4 or just no. He has to second d6. He has to second d6, but it's a pretty difficult. Because he will have to fight against 3 pieces there. King f8 wasn't just king e7. Wasn't that just better? Eric played queen c3. So what does he have? This guy has 3 pieces for the rook and 4 pawns. I believe Eric has a great compensation, especially considering the fact that there is like complete disharmony of the black pieces. That is one thing. And another thing is that Eric is currently attacking 2 pieces. So wait a sec. Isn't he going to win this one? Just a moment. Queen b8. As far as I see, queen b8. Queen b8 or queen e6. Okay. Now he can simplify the game with a rook d8, or he can just start pushing these pawns on the king side. Even g3 f4 at some point. No, rook d8, king g7, rook d1. For example, that could be an interesting plan. So rook d8, king g7, rook d8, king g7, rook d1. That could be one idea. Another idea could be to play b3, opening up this king, not to blunder any mater, and slowly to start pushing these pawns on, and also cutting off the possibility for the knight to come to c4. So Eric also has some really nice chances to win this one, because practically rook and 4 pawns for 3 pieces. You rarely see this unstandard type of position, but I believe since the king is a little bit weak, since those are 2 knights but not 2 bishops, Eric's practical decision to second b5 and to go with knight d6 and knight c8 was pretty good. Doesn't matter. Let's go to, yeah, he played rook d8. I mentioned that one. He's certainly gonna play, okay. Now rook d1, I guess. No, h5 is hanging. Then a4. Then play a4. He has to play that a4 and to start pushing the pawns. I actually mentioned the b3 previously. Eric likes to play these kind of moves. So it actually cuts off, you know, any squares for this knight. Wants to slowly give his king some place to move away to b2 and to start pushing these pawns. Let's go to the Li Chao's game. We're gonna go back to this one. Li Chao playing white. He practically played without any thinking knight d6. He's got a great intuition. That's so obvious. Took on d4, played bishop e5, and went for the rook h4 mating that. After f5, Mareco played. Now he's just going to most likely take on d3, take on a8, and Li Chao is completely winning. Absolutely insane performance, games, speed of a play, confidence of that guy during his games. I've never seen somebody playing rapid games so successfully and so convincingly like this guy. Vegas Beer Money, I have to thank you so much for that. And I can just tell you one thing. I promise you, I'm just going to drink that beer for you and to cheer it up for you. Real Vegas, man. Okay. Thank you all for supporting. Thank you. Because in today's stream, all the time we had like 700, 600, 500 people at no point below like 500. So this is like really good. You really like chessbrah members. You really like this our streams, and now you even like our team. And you know what? We just have to congratulate to Eric Hansen for managing this team, to Keith McKinnon, and by the way, for getting all these guys at the same time. Queen e3. You know what? He just wants to play like rook h8, king f7, rook h7, king g8, and then queen h3, and to go with the checkmate. This is another more than insane move, because he doesn't want to win any material. He just wants to go for mate. Just like I said, I've never seen such a great rapid player. And once again, congratulations to our team captain, to our team management, because they decided, for example, 2 games to play Caruana, 2 games Li Chao. They actually decided in which round should Caruana play, in which Li Chao. This is like a real team leading. Congratulations again. Okay, queen e3. Mareco got so badly beaten in that game that you cannot even imagine. So bishop e5. He just wants to go with rook h8 and queen h3. So this is nice. Actually, this is far from nice. That is so awesome. Okay, so this is good. Queen h3 followed by rook h8, king f7, rook h7, king g8, or queen h3, or just queen h3. I mean, it's pretty much the same. And the mate is coming. And you know what? If Li Chao wins this game, Montreal chessbrah already won this match after first game of the 4th round, which is really good. I see checkmate, and I believe Sandro Mareco is going to resign very soon. Unlike he just maybe wants to play like the other Argentinian guys, maybe wants to wait for this guy to... Actually, maybe he just wants to wait to... Okay, he plays knight f8. He can even take on d3 now. I mean, but he's gonna go for mate, that one for sure. Queen h3. Queen h3. Going for mate. Unless he just wants to simplify and to win this one. So everything practically wins here. I guess this is like plus 25. If I have to evaluate this position like that. Okay, so this is nice. This is really nice. I mean, I would. Okay, I'm in comparison to this guy, I'm complete petzer, but I take on d3, and when b takes a3, I put my bishop on a1 and remain all the same threats and be clearly up a piece, and maybe even threaten some mating threats along that diagonal. But okay, he goes for checkmate. That is pretty much expected after such a crazy game. Queen h3 wants to play rook h7 with the checkmate. We all saw this one. Rook a7, rook h7, rook a7, rook h7, knight h7, king h7, king f8, queen h8, king f7, and queen g7 checkmate. So the checkmate is coming no matter what. No matter what. So this is mate. This is mate. So will Mareco resign, or just like his other teammates wait for his flag to go down? I believe it was time to resign even a few moves ago after Li Chao found this fantastic bishop e5 and rook h4 combination. Everything started with knight c4 and knight e6. I can't wait these Wednesdays when he's about to play his games and to see what is he going to come up with. Absolutely thrilling. Yeah, nice. So I forgot even to say, apart from rook h6, he's also threatening queen h6 followed by queen g7. So Buenos Aires Krakens, they're just badly dismantled in this match, and this was a great revenge for the only loss of Montreal chessbrah in the first stage of this Pro Chess League. Okay, queen h3, threatening queen h6, queen g7, or rook h7. Sandro Mareco is going to wait for his time to, and what a behavior. But most of these Argentinian guys, and you know, guys, what that actually means, that a Montreal chessbrah team qualified for the semifinals, and that actually means that we already won this match. So let's congratulate, and this is a real success. Team of Fabiano Caruana, of Li Chao, of Eric Hansen, of a player, sorry for my rough voice, of Robin van Kempen, then of Alexander Lesiège, current Dutch champion Jordan van Forest, then Aman Hambleton, Raven Sturt, Michael Kleinman, and finally Elias. That is the team that qualified for the semifinals in the Pro League. Okay, we just have to wait. Congratulations to Li Chao for his performance in this tournament so far. 14.5 out of 16 games, so 3 draws and 13 wins. What a fantastic performance. We just have to check Eric's game. Eric is fighting against this one, but it's not that important anymore because we already won this one. Actually, it would be very nice for Eric to hold this game, because Eric so far made a perfect score, but I guess Perez Ponsa made some complications with these two knights. But you know what? Even if Eric sacrifices rook for the knight, and even if he eventually ends up being up a piece, he's got like a whole bunch of pawns, and he still has some counter chances. But I have to say that this position doesn't look as good as it looked at a moment when he sacked on b5, on d6, and went for that position. Okay, we'll see what's gonna happen there, but I once again have to tell you that Montreal chessbrahs qualified for the semifinals, and is all together with Norway Gnomes led by Carlsen and Stockholm Bulls, Snowballs led by Badr Jabava. Our team is the third team that qualified for, in the Pro Chess League in the best four teams. This is a real success. Okay, so we just wait for this game to carry on. It's still unclear because Eric has like very fast pawns. These pawns are supported by the queen. There are not any more mating threats by black, which is important. So this is good. This is good. Okay. So let me just take a look at Raven Sturt and how is he doing against Alan Pichot. So Raven Sturt is down a piece, but he's finding some counter activity in this game. Unfortunately, didn't have to check at this game at all because we were just checking some other games. So, okay, knight f6. He went for Breyer's line. He went for this one. Eric Hansen also plays this Breyer's line. If you remember, he played it even against Magnus Carlsen and got a pretty pretty much equalized position. A for a c6. So far it was just a classical type of game where Raven Sturt had a very classic position. So a queen a2 may be focusing and pointing out that the f7 pawn could be weak at some point. Bishop g7 and c4. Okay, Pichot was a bit better in this game most of the time. That was quite a nice maneuvering by white in this variation of the Ruy Lopez. Traded off the bishops, went for this, and now he went for the attack. I just have to say that it was really well played game by white, and he even organized the attack out of nowhere. One of the better Ruy Lopez games I've seen lately. Wow, that's really nice. And he now even sacrificed an exchange just temporarily and got a winning position. So now Raven Sturt is just trying to find some counter chances, but for a long time I haven't seen such a nice game in Ruy Lopez. He was actually slowly squeezing him out in that Breyers. I very much like the plan queen a3, queen goes back to e2, c4, and when he closed the queen side with a b4, he put the queen back on a1 and took a great diagonal and did a great job. Awesome performance by white in this game. And finally, let's take a look at Kleinman's position. I only checked once his game, and we stopped at the h4. And in this game, Kleinman went for this one. Here, I just have to say that his position looked more than good with black pieces. Cuevas is a little bit under the weather in this match because he lost like previously 3 games. So that was a really good thing. Knight c4, a4, queen e4, and yeah, Kleinman is doing great. He's got a strong passed pawn that is fighting against this weak e2 pawn. He's got a great centralized queen, unlike the queen on e2. He's got a great knight on c4, control of the c-file. Kleinman is doing great, but remember, in previous position, he was also killing his opponent, and then all of a sudden, in that technical part of the game, when he was about to finish off his opponent, he just failed to do that. Okay, Hansen against Ponsa. Eric played king c1, knight c3. He sacked, and are they going to make a draw in this game or not? That's an interesting thing, because I just told you, even though Ponsa created some counter chances, Eric still has like a lot of possibilities in this position because these pawns are supported by the queen. That's good. So Eric, congratulations, 3.5 out of 4. Eric drew as well. So I just have to tell you that Li Chao won, so 1.5 out of 2. Eric Hansen with his staggering performance tonight, 3.5 out of 4. And finally, we just have to see how is Ravensterd gonna do and what is Michael Kleinman going to do. This actually means that we already won this game. We already won this match. That was a real thing. When Li Chao won, it actually meant that we already won 8.5 points. Then when Eric drew, it means that in total we had 9 points, and there are still 2 games to go. So only 2 games to go. Once again, I just have to tell you, you just have to be with us because next week you'll be able to watch the Montreal chessbrah in semifinals. That's a real thing. And by the way, this actually guarantees that the Montreal chessbrah won at least $3,000 because for the third and the fourth place you have like $3,000 each team. This is nice. A takes before, rook d5. Kleinman is killing his opponent so bad. Kleinman is playing a real chess, probably b5 here. By the way, so far score is 9-6, I believe. Not 9-6, actually 9-5. So a really big advantage for the Montreal chessbrah. Kleinman is... Why queen b3? Maybe queen e4 with... Okay, so queen to d3. Probably he can take on e2 and take on... not on b2, not on b2. Oh my god. Oh my god, he... no, I thought he blundered mate. Oh. Yeah, I guess it's really late in here. So now he threatens checkmate with the bishop f6. By the way, now we're gonna take some shots. Get ready. We already won this match. Yeah, Kleinman is gonna win this one. Kleinman is gonna win this one unless yeah. But like you saw in previous game of Ravensterd, anything can happen at any point. So king e2, cutting off the king, wants to play d3, rook to e4. Oh, king e2 was bad because knight c4. Now everything comes with the music. Yes, d2 and knight b2 is simply unstoppable. It's a really big pity because Kleinman is doing great, and he was even winning in previous game, and unfortunately he didn't win completely winning position. Yeah, a2 and rook to b1. Congratulations, master. He also won his game. So Kleinman will be on 50% after 2 games, and this is another guy who doesn't want to resign, so he's going to wait for the flag to go down. It's a typical thing for these Argentinian guys. So 10-6 and only one more game left, one more game to go. But okay, that game is finished. So 10-6. Ravensterd lost to Alan Pichot. So guys, I just have to announce what actually happened in this match. After this was like quarterfinals of the Chess Pro League. In tonight's match, Montreal chessbrah managed to qualify for the semifinals. Fantastic Li Chao made 1.5 out of 2. Fabiano Caruana made perfect score, 2 out of 2. Eric Hansen, absolutely the best in tonight's match, 3.5 out of 4. And finally, Ravensterd, 1 out of 2. Kleinman, 1 out of 2, which actually means Elias lost both of his games, but okay, he played against 2 favorites. And that actually means that Montreal chessbrah won 10-6 and qualify for the semifinals. Next week we'll be able to watch the semi-final match. By the way, so far we have 3 teams to qualify. Norway Gnomes, then Stockholm Snowballs, and Montreal chessbrahs. What an amazing score, what an amazing success for this team, and I can't wait next week to stream and to watch these guys and the way they kill their opponents.